Word up, people. We're back at it again. Um, and I want to make sure that we address some wonderful things here. Yesterday, after the show, um, I told y'all that we would have people coming to the defense of your girl. And of course, lo and behold, she had one dude pop in. Um, wouldn't address the content of the video, just that I shouldn't have done the video because you know that's slandering people, the family of God, and I'm still trying to figure out where she fits into the so-called family. Um, in any case, um, I want to remind the people about something about this platform that they may be confused about because he went into the whole like I followed you and like well when and you don't even talk about the gospel and like okay well that means you don't actually watch but you like to watch drama, which tells me that you might be a little bit on the queer side. But um, I want to make something abundantly clear again about this platform, and I think people may have forgotten. So I want to remind. It's good to have a reminder once in a while. Um, know this: I will reciprocate your behavior. Mhm. Yeah, if you enter into the conversation sideways, I have no problem going sideways, none. And so if you may have thought that this particular platform goes light or I'm I'm easygoing, no, that's not here. Never will be here. I am not that guy, not the one or the two. So just so we know going forward, if you want to have a discussion, have the discussion and address the content. But if you have an issue with the how and you decide to come in sideways, then understand that I'm just like Batman's car. I can jump, grapple, slip sideways. Wheels can. I have great radius, so just understand that I will match what you hand out. Okay, good. I'm glad we had that discussion because what we're gonna get in today is definitely like that. Just because they're gonna come in again to defend the man, um, Mr. McClurkin. Because I have my 2 cents about him, especially when it comes to his response over the allegations that have been surfacing. Um, and I do want to address the allegations that are surfacing because I think we need to address the allegations, especially how he's responded to the allegations. I think it's essential that we do this. Um, Number one, I think it's important for us to hear what he himself has said in the past about his so-called struggles because I do not believe that he has addressed said struggles. I think that he has covered them with um, music and he has covered it with performance. He has covered it with um, hoping people remember what he was. And the problem that people may or may not understand is that it is not uh, a light issue. It is not a light issue at all. Um, Not even remotely a light issue. So I want to address it because it's necessary for us to address it. And for anyone that thinks it's not something that we should be discussing, I know why you would think that, and I see why we're in the position we are right now as a people that call ourselves the church. In Romans 12, we're going to start there. In Romans 12, it says this. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what that is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. The individual, just like yesterday, Tiffany, has not done that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. In fact, she has done the exact opposite. She has gone to the point where she refuses to be conforming to the way of God. She has not reformed her mind, because in her world, it is perfectly acceptable to do all the things that you condemn everybody else for. She doesn't want other pastors doing like this and doing like that. But no, she's out there partying, party boats, cupping behinds, cupping thighs, acting like a whole lesbian, but that's okay because, she's anointed and she's prophetic and all that nonsense. It goes on, for I say, through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. For as we have many members of one body, but all the members do not have the same function. So we, being many of one body in Christ and individually members of one another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, let us use them. In prophecy, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith. If ministry, let us use it. Ministering, he who teaches, teach. And he who exhorts, in exhortation. And he who gives, gives liberally. And he who leads, with diligence. And he who shows mercy, with cheerfulness. Let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be kindly affectionate one another, brotherly love and honor, giving preference to one another, not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving God, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulations, continuing steadfastly in prayer, distributing to the needs of the saints in hospitality. Now, again, a lot of these conversations we are going to have a lot to do with what is going on with Donnie. Donnie's biggest issue is that Donnie doesn't want to address Donnie. That's Donnie's issue. He does not want to address Donnie. And so we are going to address Donnie instead. We are going to address Donnie. And I want Donnie to speak for himself today first, and then we will listen to what he has to say now.
I didn't know how to have the relationship. I didn't know really what a woman wanted. I've messed up more than I've had good. My past relationships were a sprinkling of everything, men and women.
It's good that you can admit that. The question is, what has taken place to address all of it? What has taken place in your world to address it? And I don't mean psychologically, I mean spiritually. What did you do to address it? Because it doesn't seem like you've done anything to address it.
I don't know how to do this. And because of that, when things get rough, I go back into my safe place, my music and my ministry.
So you hide. You retreat into your safe place. That shouldn't be your safe place. Your safe place should be contrition, brokenness. I don't know, the throne, perhaps. No, you run and hide in your music. Gotcha. Hey, all I'm saying is I didn't say it. He did. You know me. I ain't gonna say nothing somebody else didn't say. He said it. All right, cool. Now, you heard it, right? Okay, good.
I want to lay down next to somebody that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. I really do. I missed the fact that I did not have the family unit that I could lay next to my spouse with my baby on my chest.
You notice what terminology he's using? And I want, again, it is vital that we listen to people. It is vital we listen to what they say, because they'll say it. He does not say wife. He says spouse. There is a massive problem here. He's addressing this thing like it could go either way still in his world, male or female. If you are married and you're a woman, you have a husband. If you are a male and you're married, you have a wife. This spouse nonsense has come up because of people trying to make sure that you can pick either or.
And be the quintessential dad that raises up a family like I saw in my dreams and I wanted in my heart. So
So his emphasis is more on being a dad than a husband to a wife. I hope we catch that. Okay, good.
Having a long-term relationship in my life and never being married, my thing is I chalk that up. I'm gonna probably be alone for the rest of my life as far as a mate is concerned.
Mate, spouse, being a dad. Again, not my words, his. The inclusion and the allowance of the ill just by the way you speak.
Happiness is something that's relative. I've got joy. Joy is consistent. Happiness is based on what happens. But joy is a constant type of assurance that everything's going to be okay.
Quick deviation off the topic. You see that? Okay, good. And he ends with something that people will think, oh, that's so wonderful. He's finding joy even in the middle of all this struggle. Except he never said he struggled. He said he had a hard time picking, but he never said he struggled. He refuses to say he wants a wife. He wants a spouse and a mate. So again, all I'm telling you is that he has admitted out loud and recently to being a homosexual. There is no such thing as bi, by the way. You cannot be bi. You're either straight or you're gay. There is no bi. No, this was before the claim. This video was before the claim. He addressed the claim in another video, a subsequent video, but I want to go over the claim. Before anything else, I want to go over said claim. The individual that you may have seen in the thumbnail that is accusing him is this man on the opposite side of the screen there. Okay? I want you to be aware that's the individual. Now, we on Too Strong, we even called out Donnie some years back. We wrote him an email. We called him to have an interview, to discuss it. Ignored our call, ignored the email. But I understand why he would. I get why he would try to avoid it, because we don't play the game of the placating questions and try to go easy ball and softball. We don't do that. That's why nobody wants to come talk to Corey and I. Not a soul on the internet today or in real life has the nuts to come talk to both Corey and I, or individually. They know that they can come and bring all of our past, and we will run with that past and tell you everything and more. We will divulge and over divulge our past. Something they can't do. That's why they won't come talk. Donnie wouldn't come talk. Marcus Rogers wouldn't come talk. Candace Owens wouldn't come talk. We've reached out to just about all the big dogs there are out there to come talk. We've offered ourselves to go on their platform. They won't do that neither. The thing about transparency is that it has to be transparent. And they're kind of weird that you expect somebody to be transparent. When you say I'm going to be transparent, that's kind of weird. Anyway, so let's go to the story real quick. On Monday, news broke claiming McClurkin was facing a civil court complaint over allegations of sexual abuse spanning many years. The plaintiff, Giuseppe Corletto, filed a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court accusing McClurkin of years of coercion and sexual assault during the late 2000s and early 2010s. Corletto, a former personal assistant and congregant of McClurkin's Perfecting Faith Church in Long Island, alleged the pastor attempted to counsel him about his homosexuality while also exploiting it by coercing him to do sexual acts that he did not want to do. So they shared a letter, the McClurkin's so-called church, with all humility, faith, and deep respect for Christ. Of course, that's what they have to paint everything in first. They got to make sure you understand, I love me some God, so understand the God and the God. It got to be good to God. Talk about God. So they can get you to listen to whatever they're about to say next, which is total malarkey, to make them feel like, you have to believe us now. Because we said God at the very beginning. You see, we said humility, faith, and deep respect for Christ. If you had deep respect for Christ, here's what you would have done. Donnie, you would have stepped down. You would have stepped down until you got yourself rectified. It's not no small thing that you're doing. You shouldn't be counseling nobody about something you're still struggling with. Surrender first, then you can counsel. Deep respect for Christ and this global gospel music and ministry community, which has shaped my life, my call, and my character, I address this letter. Many of you are aware of profane allegations of sexual assault, rape, and coercion that have been recently lodged against me. I want to state clearly and unequivocally that these allegations are contrived and untrue. I understand the weight of such false claims, especially in the community rooted in faith, trust. It keeps going back to this. Teachings of Jesus Christ, and sexual violence in any form in a real and painful reality for many and not to be used frivolously. True survivors deserve to be heard. Again, he's not a true survivor, right? Protected and supported. At the same time, the truth matters, and the truth has not been told. And though I know many have already formed their opinions based on initial belief and controversy, as we know, we believe it because you've told us you've been fighting it. Controversy, as we're apt to do with something this false nature, I ask that this community exercises patience and trust in God's timing for the truth to fully come to light. You won't say much. I have always sought to conduct myself with integrity, transparency, global godly care, and responsibility in the fulfillment of my Christian life and duties, except you're not very transparent. This accusation of salacious engagement of or any misconduct that harmed, exploited, or took advantage of anyone and misused my position, leadership, or influence in any way of these false allegations is emphatically untrue. My love for and walk with Christ means everything to me and deeply sensitive and sacred. I live to please him, which is why it is essential that the facts be established carefully, responsibly, and fairly. Although I have not yet been served with the official legal complaint, I am proactively cooperating fully with the appropriate processes and will vigorously defend to the fullest against this defamatory and baseless lawsuit. I am confident that when the truth is fully known, I'll be vindicated. Please pray for the accuser as well. Seriously and sincerely, I thank everyone for their continued prayer, support, and faith. That is his written reaction. Now, on the surface, of course, people will read that and say, see, he's telling you nothing happened. And he sounds very sincere in what he's saying, that it did not happen. But again, we are going with something about what he said in his past that he did. Remember the video we just watched? This is his statements, not mine. That he has done things that he is not proud of. Okay, cool. That ain't me saying it. That's Donnie. So Donnie decided that the letter wasn't sufficient. The communication of said letter wasn't sufficient. So what did he decide to do? He made a video, a live. He went live to discuss it. All right, he's going to discuss it too. Let's listen to how he discusses it. Let's bring it up.
Hello, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. All right, while you're coming, be not dismayed. You ain't what every time you.
Anyway, you know, my problem is this: every time people do stuff like this, that this is what you call a no. He's not sick. No, he's not sick. He's just old. No, he may be sick. I don't know, but I might be sick. But I don't know of any real disease that he has. But he old. But every time they decide to come and talk to you about something, they got to put you in the vein of what they were, which is what he's doing. Remember, I sing. Remember, I sing, and I sing about God. So when you hear the rest of this video, make sure that your mind is already on the singing portion. Just remember that this is who I am. I'm a singer of God's word, and just keep that as you listen. Okay. And just so people know, I do not care whether he's sick. I don't care if he had surgery. I don't care about none of that. That's not the topic of anything we're discussing. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care if he could be on his deathbed. Same thing I didn't care about Carlton. I don't care. We are discussing what he's about to say. So I'm going to skip all this singing nonsense because I think he sings for almost a good 3 minutes.
Take care.
Yeah.
Promised he will. Personally.
Okay, let me see.
God bless you all. Hey.
Here we go.
Just came on. I'm about to go into our prayer service. We're in our consecration. And I'm about to go into prayer. And I just wanted to address something personally.
Personally, yeah.
You've heard a lot that's been going on. You've heard many different accusations lodged and alleged. You've heard some very untrue things. And you've also seen an official statement that I put out. But I wanted to lend my voice and my face to this. And I wanted to let you know that I thank God for every one of you praying for me and for the support. And I thank God for truth, which you have not heard. You have not heard the truth, but you will. But I just didn't want to go any longer without addressing it. I've remained silent while this campaign, this media campaign was launched.
Now, I want you to watch for a few things. Okay? Please watch for a few things. Um, if you remember the interview we watched before, his mannerisms were very open when he talked, very open, and when he's speaking about his struggles. Now he's trying to close you off. So you'll see him do this a lot. And you'll see him playing with his ear. It's a self soothing thing, especially when people are lying. And I'm glad someone else caught that too. He set up the entire arena to make people think a certain way about him and not listen to what he is saying. That's the whole premise, is to add to your mind something to deflect you from what he's actually saying to you and how he's saying it. And it works, okay? But you'll see him play with and touch, and when he's trying to, but he's normally when he's talking, he's very, you'll see this a lot. You'll see it a lot. Watch it, okay?
I remain silent because the Bible tells you to be slow to speak, quick to hear, and slow to anger. And so I had to sit back and I had to pray because there are people that look for this to be true. There are people that have already formed their opinion based on the strategic approach of defamation that's gone forward.
No, no. They're more than likely basing it on what you've told people you struggle with. You have admitted, you admitted to all of this. So when you admit to it that you do struggle with it and someone comes out and says, this is what happened, why shouldn't we believe them? Now, you can say it wasn't coercive. You can say it was mutual. That we would even accept. But ain't nothing defaming you. Bro, you did that. You put this out there. Like literally nobody would be worried about what you had to be if you didn't tell nobody. I mean, we kind of figured you were, a little fruity from the way you behave. We could kind of see you're fruity, okay? You ain't hiding the fruitiness from nobody. Okay, Donnie, that part, I'm sorry to tell you this, but whoever knew you knew that you had an inclination, a push, a want to, a fight with being gay. We could tell. That was obvious, bro. That was obvious. But when you told us that you did, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what you want us to do. You told us that you struggle with it. So when somebody else comes and say, yeah, this happened, why shouldn't we at least say this might have happened? That's not defaming. That's believing somebody based on what you told us is believable. That's all.
But I just want to let you all know from my mouth to you, from my heart to yours, that it's unfortunate that
Listen,
trying to be delicate.
Yeah. Why would you need to be delicate if you're telling the truth? Either come forward and say, or shut up and let the case play out. Hear me out. If you have to be delicate while trying to tell people the truth, then you probably were told to shut up and you're trying to say something to kind of paint the audience in one. No. How about this? You say, I'm not saying nothing. The courts have it right now. It's figuring it out. I can't say nothing on this. When the truth comes out, then I'll tell you everything. Or I'm going to tell you everything up front, no holds barred. Whatever the case happens, the case happens. Don't care. But this is the truth. You're not doing that. You don't need to be delicate. There's no need to be delicate. Just say what you got to say.
Unfortunate that such allegations have been lodged. I don't understand the machinations of the young man's mind. He's not young, really. He's 40 some odd years old. But
listen,
I haven't seen this fellow in over, well, now it's 11 years, since 2015. And I haven't spoken to him since that long either. But people do things for different reasons. Most of them are monetarily motivated, and it's a shame. It's a shame because con- to consider yourself or to proclaim yourself to be a victim of something that didn't happen discredits the people that it has happened to, and it's a shame.
Listen,
But the one thing that I do know is that truth will always prevail, and the disturbed minds of other people cannot prohibit the truth from speaking loudly. Although a lie is very loud and boisterous and quick, the truth is very slow walking, and it takes a moment, but it comes to the foreground. I just wanted to let you all know. Although this has caused uh, much controversy and it's caused people to formulate opinions and it's caused people to vilify and to ridicule. Uh, the one thing that I can say is I've tried my best throughout all these years to be transparent. I've tried my best and held up the standard of Christ.
can I ask the audience a question? Um, do you think that you have to try to be transparent? Anybody? Do you need to try and be transparent? If you say that you're a leader, this is what I mean. If you're a leader, right? Do you need to try and be transparent or just be transparent? Isn't that part of the leadership thing is to be transparent? So I don't think you need to try, Donnie. Exactly. Like, you either are or you're not. There's no. In the words of the great Yoda, do or not do. There is no try. There ain't no trying. Just do it.
As best I can, flawed in many ways sometimes, but um, transparent. And I transparently tell you that this is all fabricated and untrue. And I'm praying for the gentleman.
This is the best part right here.
I'm praying for the gentleman that he would regain some kind of lucid thought.
He would regain some kind of lucid thought. Now, when I first heard that, I glossed over it, and then I heard it again. I heard, whoa, 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 whoa. So I formed an opinion. I do believe something happened, but here's what I believe happened. I believe the young man went there to talk to Mr. McClurkin. And the intent on both sides was not to be anything other than a conversation. And I believe that one thing led to another. And I think that something happened. One of them liked it more than the other. One was more upset about it than the other. But both agreed that it would happen. And then over time, the couple more times that it occurred was because they were mutually agreeing to it to an extent. That's what I believe happened, which is why I think he says words like lucid, try and remember what happened. Clearly remember, not just what you think happened, remember clearly what happened.
And and
There goes the ear.
and give his life to the Lord, really. Uh, and just keep me in your prayers. And that's as far as I want to go with this. and on all it's circulated through all of the major media markets. And I didn't want to go to NBC and TMZ and People Magazine and all the other places that it's been heralded. I wanted to come straight to you.
The reason he doesn't want to go to a news outlet because they would ask him questions. There are no questions here. There are no questions being asked. Now, he said that the allegations are false. Remember that. He said the allegations are false. So, what are the allegations? The allegations are that coercion and sexual assault. He said that never happened. So, sexual assault and coercion are contrived and untrue. Okay? They're allegations. Those are untrue. However, he never said that he never had any interaction with the young man. He never said that he didn't have some sort of a interaction sexually with the young man. Never said that. He never said I didn't touch him, never had anything, never. He just said the allegations are untrue. The same way he likes to talk about spouse and mate because he's leaving avenues open for a gay relationship. I'm just saying, listen, be transparent or don't be. Be or don't. If your thought process is that you're going to be transparent, then be it. I do believe that he might beat the case on the premise that it was not coercion and that it wasn't sexual assault. I think that's where he'll beat the case, that didn't happen. I have no doubt that it might not have been coercive and violent and rape. I have no doubt. I can believe that. I can, especially if the young man came to him with his own struggles of homosexuality. Two men meeting for counseling about their sexuality privately. Nothing could go wrong there. That's a lot of wisdom. I mean, smart. Or you could, hear me out, you could go to somebody who ain't struggling with their sexuality for advice of how to be straight. No, you go into a man who's already messed up. He can't figure out straight he can't figure that out, but you go to him. He's still fighting with it. Listen, Donnie was still fighting and having multiple relationships that he's destroyed with men and women, and this young man is going to him for counseling? What do you expect to happen, bro? Let's struggle together. The man is looking for compensation for anguish and all that, stuff. In another report, a little bit more detailed about it, Corletto was 21 when he sought out McClurkin in 2003 because he was struggling to reconcile his sexuality. Corletto went to McClurkin's church in Long Island, where the pastor assured Corletto that he would deliver him from homosexuality. From there, Corletto and McClurkin developed a mentor-mentee relationship, and Corletto was working with McClurkin's personal assistant, and he regularly traveled with Mr. McClurkin. During his employment, Corletto claims that McClurkin frequently held pray the gay away spiritual sessions in which the pastor allegedly groped Corletto's genitals without his consent. He said that the abuse continued for the next 6 years, where McClurkin coerced him into further unwanted acts in 2007 to 2015. Even after Corletto left the church in 2008, McClurkin is accused of tracking down his location and assaulting him twice. Corletto did, however, inform the church's staff members about the abuse, but no action was taken, the lawsuit states. Now, here's the problem with that statement. If he did tell a church, you might see something akin to Robert Morris come up here. If you remember the Robert Morris case, he's now in prison, by the way. Robert Morris, the family told the church about it. The church clergy and all of the heads told them what had happened. Nothing was done. In fact, he was allowed to continue in the role he was in for decades. And only recently, if what he's espousing can be verified that he did indeed tell the rest of the church, this is problems for Donnie. Mad problems. McClurkin wrote an apologetic email to Corletto after what he claims was another assault at Niagara Falls Hotel in 2013. The young man provided a screenshot, and this is what the supposed email said. I am the actual epitome of a desperate, dirty old man, pawning and groping a young man who is just looking for a friendship and close platonic relationship with someone he wants to look to for help, guidance, and spirituality. I feel so foul, so stupid. Again, if these emails turn out to be truthful, that he did indeed send them, again, he is up a creek. If the things that he has possession of, this young man has possession of, and he did indeed send these emails, McClurkin is cooked. And he should be. He should be cooked. Okay, let's continue with the story. I want to see here. Meanwhile, Corletto's lawyer, Thomas Gouffra, told NBC that he hopes the lawsuit will bring compensation, closure, and some measure of justice to his client. This is not a small issue, people. Y'all might think this might be salacious just for clicks in, but it's a serious thing. Hear me out. What we keep seeing in the modern church is this, right? An allowance for the homosexual agenda, right? A lot of people say that it's a pervasive thing, and it is, especially among the males, but it's also pervasive among the women, as we saw yesterday. It's not called out as much, and it won't be seen as much with the females because they'll say, that's just how women are. But it has been allowed to enter. The come as you are doctrine, stay as you are doctrine, God made you this way doctrine is pervasive now. So there would be no need for them to ask Donnie or anyone else to change. Why would he need to change? This is how God made him. He's struggling with it, but God is okay with it because God knows. The problem with all of this is that the more allowances made for it, the bigger damage to the sheep. The bigger damage to the sheep. Forget the legal aspect of this for just a second, because of more consequence than the legal is the spiritual implication. The bigger damage here is to future sheep, current sheep. Sheep already in a pit, trying to dive, get out. This is keeping them right in there. People looking on the outside in and thinking, oh, that's just as confusing in there. Why would I even decide to follow God? I ain't got to do all that. I'll stay outside and do what I got to do. The odd thing is they're not even the church. They're not operating like it. They're using God's name. They love using his name. Just like in the beginning of that letter. The fallout is the bad part. The fallout is the sheep. And they don't care about the sheep. They care about them. How this is going to look on me. How this is going to look on my ministry. How this is going to look on my music. Well, he doesn't have one. That's the thing. He doesn't have a wife. He has nobody. Well, nobody that he's willing to bring to the forefront yet, because the full transformation of the church hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. Listen, for a long time, the transformation of the church is to accept everything, right? Everything, anything and everything. That flip hasn't happened fully yet. It's almost there. Majority of the people that are part of the so-called church are looking for the flip over. It's coming though. It's coming. Now I'm gonna say nuts. I'm gonna say nuts because we got nuts. He has no nuts. I'm gonna say that. I don't think nothing's wrong with the word nuts at all. Donnie is the kind of person that is more concerned about protecting his brand, his image, his history, than he is really about trying to get free. That's really what it is. He doesn't want to be free. He wants to find peace with the direction he wants to go. That's where he wants to go full gay. He wants to go full gay. He just does not have the opportunity to do it just yet because at this moment, the church has not fully flipped over to allowing it. It's almost there. Almost there. The worldly iteration of the church is almost to where you can be like that and be fine. We already have a few that have the trans teachers and preachers and all that stuff. You got the gay folk up in there preaching and teaching, and that's okay. And quite a few, but smaller ones, not the big ones. But even the big ones have the gay people up there talking, but you're never going to really know that they're gay. Like Michael Todd, you know he's gay. Tim Ross, you know he gay too. Like, come on now. You know none of these so-called men are actually, men. You know that, right? We're aware of this, right? John Hannah, every last one of them. They're just waiting for the prime time to fully let go of the act and be. And here's what will happen. They'll be fine to be married and doing that. And the wife will allow it. Why? Because God. Because God. They've been using his name for everything. They'll even rewrite his word to fit this. They have no problem. Look, they love rewriting his word. The word that homosexual was never in the Bible. What it meant was you shouldn't be sleeping with kids. That's what it meant. Exchanging natural affections of her. They meant kids, not men. This has become normal. And unfortunately, Donnie has already made up in his mind that instead of seeking deliverance from it, he just says, nah. You say that you want to have a family. You can't, you're longing for the day to have, of course, it's long gone now because you're too old to have kids. You ain't going to have nobody, you're not going to be around to raise the kid. If you have it now, you're going to be dead before the kid even hits 15. So you up there talking about having a kid laying on your chest and your spouse next to you, instead of saying to you, hey, I'm part of God's family now. I am supposed to be a man looking for a wife. God, make this happen for me, or make it not. Instead, you trying to find happiness, trying to find your path, and your sexual side is still in limbo. No, bro, you're just gay. And you don't want to let go of the gay behavior. You like it too much. And what you're hoping for is people to look at it as a struggle and to accept the screw ups, accept when you fall. And in your mind, the fall is an excursion. So you go out and you go on tour and you end up having an excursion with a male. I fell. Forgive me. People are like, we all fall. We get up. Pippity flappity floop. Go on a couple of months. You get another fall. You're going to get another fall. But you know what? You fall, you get up. Blessed assurance. Don't forget. They use this concept of the falling and the getting up to allow. Let me give you this option here, okay? There is a passage here. We're going to run to it real quick in Galatians 5. Starting at 7. You ran well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth? This persuasion does not come from him who calls you. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. I have confidence in the Lord that you will have no other mind, but he who troubles you shall bear his judgment, whoever he is. And I, brethren, if I preach circumcision, why do I still suffer persecution? Then the offense of the cross has ceased. I could wish that those who trouble you would even cut themselves off. For you, brethren, have been called to liberty. Only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. What Donnie's really doing is what that verse says not to do. Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Surely I'm going to continue in sin that grace may abound because I have grace. That's what he's doing. It is, look, it is, again, I don't care about the implications legally. I really don't. Whatever happens to him legally. But we are talking about something far more important, far more detrimental. We are talking about damage to the body. We're talking about the world's view of the body. We're talking about the reaching of souls by the view of the body. They can't know that they can trust transformations, life. They can't trust that. They can't even trust relief from sin with these people. in their minds, they're giving people the option to keep doing something and be some way and be like, God is okay with it because God made you this way. He understands the struggle because he understands that this is how you were created. The moment you become safe in your personage, that you are okay with it, he is too. As long as you love God. As long as you love God. And you'll see this again tomorrow when we cover Jamal Bryant and his wife's situation and his situation. And you can call it gossip all you want. You can call it whatever you like. But I know that many will not address the topic. They'll never address the topic. You won't address the meat and potatoes of what's happening. And that's the unfortunate part. You won't do that. Because in their minds, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, we will have a conversation about the things come tomorrow with Jamal Bryant, and we'll see where that goes. And I'll show you what I mean by them trying to make sure the church is messed up as possible. Hang on. That's their goal. If they can introduce as much chaos into the body as they can, then anything goes, and whatever they do in private, if it ever comes public, they can say it's okay because God knows. God knows. Anyhow, we'll vibe with you guys tomorrow, God willing. I love you guys, mean it. I'm going to forego the hat from here on out because it's just too much pressing. That it looks goofy. I'm not doing that no more. So I'm just going to start combing my hair. It's wintertime. I gotta embrace. I should be happy, right? Because my hair's still growing. So that's good. I'm not that old yet to where I'm going bald. So I'm going to embrace it while I can. So if you come here, can you see? Like he got it got a fro. That's how it is every winter. Go back and check all the videos. I want to get a haircut, but it's too cold, man. Too cold to get a haircut in this place. I don't like feeling my head just frostbite. I can't. No, I'm good. Yeah, well, a gray is a sign of wisdom or stress. Mine is all stress. It ain't no wisdom in that hair. Okay, I might be gaining some, but it ain't showing up in the hair. This happened long before smarts. this happened. This happened because of kids. I wear my children on my head. Yeah, we'll be covering that guy too. We'll be covering that guy too. So we'll vibe with you guys on tomorrow. Check out both sides. We dropped a few videos today. We're trying to do 2 a day. We'll see how that continues. Love you guys. Mean it. I really do. At the bottom, it is for whatever it is there for. You don't have to use it. It's just an option. Appreciate you. We'll vibe another time. I'll end with a different outro this time, but love you. Mean it. Wisdom calls to you from the streets. So please, please, please find wisdom.
There are places in the world that feel cold and out of place. There are scenes that make you crumple into sand. There are things still left untold. Some things make you question grace, but don't you let them get life out of hand. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. I can only see the now, and it makes me ask how come life never handed me a silver spoon. Truth is I never bowed, only gave to you my song. Yet you called me out and brought me in your room. In your house I find real peace. In your house I find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. It is a house not made with hands, not built or forged by man. It is simply only God and God alone. And He welcomes all who come with His arms so full of love. So come and let yourself be undone. In your house I find real peace. In your house